Hello everyone, Brian Jennings, Millennial Dragon, Psychic Scientist. This channel exists to process my pathological relationship with Quentin Tarantino. I wrote him a number of letters, right, and took a couple of steps from A to B, right, about playing the lead in the movie Critic in his last film, The Movie Critic. Right? And that set into motion a sequence of events that has led to where we are now. Right? I am the reason he canceled his film, The Movie Critic, last April. And after he set me up at a screening of Jackie Brown at De Niro Con, right, he entered into a Faustian covenant to compel me to madness and suicide. The two of us have now become a case study in remote viewing, and all of our thoughts are each filtered through the other's head. This is the condition. That's where we're at, right? And so I made this channel to make sure that the world is clear, right? That we're living an honest life in society about what happened with the movie Critic. Tribeca is my fault. Tribeca is not Quentin's fault. It's his show, right? But everything that happened thereafter is Quentin's fault. It's not my fault. No. Right, so I've written a novel. It's a novelization of my experiences, right? And so, right, we're reading through the novel. We're talking about the writing. We're talking about the nature of reality. We're talking about how he does what he does. We're talking about how I do what I do, right? The two of us have become a case study in remote viewing, right? That his every thought is filtered through my head. My every thought is filtered through his head. That's right. That's where we're at right now. Right? I could say, I've written 130,000 words about it, right? I could say a lot about it, right? But rather than do that, rather than go on and on, right? I'll say that this shirt, right, is for the United Way, right? I was volunteering for the United Way earlier this year, writing calligraphy thank you notes. Right, here's an example, right, which is Hamlet, right, his introduction to the players. Speak the speech I pray you as I pronounced it to you, trippingly on the tongue. Right? And so they gave me the t-shirt because they appreciated me writing the thank you notes, right? That they have donors. They gave me a list. They fucking opened their books up to me. Really wonderful people. Really nice, great girls. It's all girls that's there. And I would have loved nothing more than to have continued coming and writing the thank you notes, right? I almost did all of them. I did a lot of them. But Quentin, right, in his machinations, right, that he wants to torture me. I feel like he is the one that's actually interested in the torture. Right, but my point is that, right, like I'm here now, not working, right, because he's consumed my whole life, and that's like what he wanted, right? So we're talking about it, right? But that's where the shirt comes from. And lastly, right, we've changed the frame a little bit. There's this painting, right? This is one of the first paintings I did, right? And so this is the first arrangement of the Sephirothic Tree of Life, the Kabbalah, right? Right? Critical sorcerer. We're talking about magic, right? We're talking about how he does what he does, how I do what I do, right? And so all these things are intimately connected, right? So, right, I've ended up back in like my fever pitch, right? And we have the novel. We're going to go into the novel when we go into it, but Quentin will be receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award. Oh gosh, he's lost his mind. How unfortunate, right? Like, sure, like that's the other argument, right? Right, but what I'm saying is that, right, he entered into a conspiracy with the people around him to overwhelm my mind, to compel me to blow my brains out in a subtle bullshit ploy, right? And he failed. That's why we're here, right? He can't overwhelm my mind with his mind, right? And so, right? And I don't want to go on and on about it, but the video is a plea to the Pope, right? That he, right? After I realized, oh, he wants me to blow my brains out, there's nothing else, right? Like he doesn't expect us to persist for 20 years, right? And I'll touch on that in a second, right? But when I realized, oh, he wants me to kill myself, there's nothing else. There's no other way to interpret it. What else is he prepared to do to put me in the ground, right? And he stole my wisdom, right? Because I know what to do, right? If we're playing I'm using my mind to destroy someone. That's the game we're playing, right? And he descended into palpable black magic evil, right? Because he's a child floundering in the ocean, right? And it's the ugliest thing ever. And if I did these things to him that he does to me, if anyone does these things to someone, right, then they're the pinnacle of evil, right? And so that's what Quentin is, him and the cabal of degenerates that surround him, right? And so we're talking about it now. I've written a novel. It's a novelization of my experiences, right? And so I'm reading through the novel, but before that, right, we have to acknowledge, right, that Quentin will be receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award by the Burbank International Film Festival at the end of September, right? And so anyone who's seen my videos, there's two of them, about the reason why he canceled the film, right, then they'll know, right, that the first film Quentin made without Harvey Weinstein, he appropriated Brad Pitt's spousal abuse as the subplot. That's, right? Brad Pitt won his Oscar for beating up his wife on an airplane and getting away with it. That's high magic. Get it? Right? So, the Burbank International Film Festival has an opinion, right? The mayor of Burbank, the mayor of El Segundo, wants to say, oh, it's Quentin Tarantino Day, right? Lifetime Achievement Award, like the things that this man does is worth us making a political statement about it, right? And again, perpetual fear. I live in perpetual fear that he's going to send someone, right, to assassinate me, right? And that's not because of this, right? Like, this is obvious. Everything that I'm saying right now, there's nothing clever about it, right? It's obvious, right? If you understand writing, right, this is what writers do, right? This isn't like, there's no, the movies, right? Like, no, like, open your eyes, right? Writers write what they know. Right? Right? Quentin knows show business. He knows actors. Brad Pitt acted in Inglourious Bastards. He knows him. They talk to each other. They hang out. Right? Brad Pitt, according to the flight crew, not according to me, right, poured beer all over his wife, screamed in her face, screamed at her kids' faces, right, on a private flight from France to LA. Cliff Booth murders his wife on a boat and gets away with it. No charges were filed in either case. This is, right? It's the same story. It's not different stories, right? So, Burbank International, right? All those people, they look at his filmography and they say, oh yeah, that's a cool guy. That's a cool guy, right? Like, oh, lifetime achievement. Right? So, right? Harvey Weinstein from 1 to 8. And then on 9, right? Angelina Jolie gets beat up on an airplane. and gets appropriated as literary cannon fodder. Right? So, meet BIFF's team. That's Burbank International Film Festival. Anna Mayberry, president, festival director, a woman, right? Pretty funny. Anna Mayberry became the president of BIFF at the end of 2024. Blah, 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 right? Like, there she is, Anna Mayberry, right? Larry Thornton, treasurer. Kimbra Potter. Kurt Patino. Dustin Richardson. Eric Connor. Alexandra Hayek. And the advisory board members, Michelle Francis Ortman, Tony Muscio, it's hard to pronounce, Sela Vector, that's Vector, and Vector Equilibrium, 10 of them. I like her. Michelle Alexandria, Katie Keane, Dionisio, Tafoya, Leslie Alvarado, and Penny Yagby. Right, so this is pretty, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 9 out of 15. So right, like there's a committee that's like meeting and they're saying, oh, we have this film festival, gosh, like who do we, like how do we, like what's the real banger? Right? And so of that community, right, just so that we're all on the same page, Los Angeles, right? 9 out of 15 are women, and they all said, oh, Quentin Tarantino, the guy who appropriates spousal abuse and who lets Harvey Weinstein run amok on his film sets. That's who we wanna, that's the one. Right, so, right, oh gosh, right, he's gonna send people here to kill me, right, like there's people right up the street, he's a degenerate. Oh no, he's not doing that, oh no, right, so, we're reading through the novel. We're talking about the novel, we're talking about the nature of reality. Right? Right? Me and Quentin's situation has become a case study, right? His every thought is filtered through my head. My every thought is filtered through his head. Right?